Welcome. Hi, everybody. It's Jason Barlow. Today's quote of the week. You are the writer, director, and star of this movie we call life. Do you want a smash hit? By Todd Brown. Welcome. It's Jason Barlow, RMT, and I'm here today as your therapist and as your coach to help you transform your stress, tension, and pain into health, happiness, and vitality. This week's quote, very empowering. And I remember watching a YouTube, well, it was on YouTube, but it was a TED Talk that was put together by Matthew O'Reilly. He's a veteran paramedic, I believe in the United States. And he came on as a TED Talk presenter to literally share with the world the powerful message that he wanted to express with respect of patients that he obviously encountered in his career that were on the cusp of dying. And very often that question early on in his career, and a person, in a severe trauma situation that was clearly going to die, they would ask the question, am I going to die? Am I dying? To which he would always answer, no, we're going to save you. We're going to get through this, stay with me, and be very positive and focused on the possibilities that they're going to survive, but secretly knowing that they weren't going to survive. But he was just trying to give them an uplifting message. I mean, that's what we would probably instinctively go to. But as his career progressed, he had more experience with this. Eventually, he made the decision one day to tell people, yeah, you are going to die. And he said it was quite a revelation. And you got to watch the YouTube video. I've put the link in the comments below, the description below, so you can have a look at it yourself. Amazing. So what he found was when he started to be honest and truthful with these patients that were literally at the last breath of their life, they had a very different perspective. More peace came into their mind, and they wanted to be able to express a final message to those loved ones, whereas those previously never got that chance to express their love or their gratitude towards their loved ones in their life because they assumed, based on a paramedic's point of view, they were going to live. But now he was being sincere and honest and telling people that they were going to die, if that was truly the case, obviously. And these messages were very different. The point of what I'm trying to share with you ties in with you and how you're choosing to live your life. Remember, with this powerful quote this week, you are the writer, the director, and the very star of your own movie. And that's what we call life. So what kind of a hit do you want to have? Do you want to have a blockbuster hit? Or do you want to have something that you don't really remember very well, or people don't remember after you've passed? Like, I don't mean that to be mean, but I'm being honest with you that I remember my uncle years ago when he retired. So he was probably in his mid to late 60s. And I asked him, and I was only 16 at the time, but I remember asking him, we'd gone out for an evening meal, what's the best thing about being retired? And he looked down at his watch. In fact, he didn't have a watch on. He was looking down at what he would normally look at, his watch on his wrist. And he said, not having to constantly be aware of time, especially when I'm like, okay, I've got an hour before I've got to be at work, or it's 2 hours before I'm done work. He was so cognizant of time when it came to his work that was his entire career. And he couldn't wait to retire, to have a new perspective on time, and to just obviously lead a slightly different way of life. Now, I've always had this belief since that day. That was truly an empowering turning point for me of, well, I don't want to wait until I'm 65. I don't want to wait until I'm retired to have that feeling of leading the life that I'd really like to lead. And I'm not saying he had a terrible life. What I'm saying is his perspective on time was limiting his life because he was so centered around it and he was cognizant of it that he couldn't wait until he retired to get this freedom. Well, I firmly believe we all have the capacity of freedom right here, right now. That freedom comes from your side of your mind space. Now, remember when I've shared this before, and I talk about it in my book, is we have 4 controls. This is where you get your freedom back. Your 4 controls are your mind, absolutely integral. That's the top of the chain for me. Absolutely number 1. I believe we've got to jump headfirst into conquering our health, happiness, and vitality. Nobody's going to come and do this for us. Nobody's going to come along and knock on that door and say, hey, fill in your name. We're here to get you more health, happiness, and vitality. Well, me, maybe. If you're watching these videos, great. I'm knocking on your screen right now to say, hey, if you want more, listen to what I'm sharing with you and explore and expand your mind. Because I firmly believe that we have to go, number one, dealing with mindset. Number two is movement and your body, right? What the physical body. And that's obviously something very tangible, something I deal with on a daily basis as a massage therapist. How we move, how we stretch, how we mobilize, how we get massaged. All of that is empowering to help us transform this physical body and to aid it. Now, it's going to get sick. It's going to age, but we can mitigate that sickness and we can mitigate the aging by virtue of how we choose to move and sit and stand and function on a daily basis. The third control is your foods. You are putting the very foods into your mouth and into your system. If you don't like the way that you currently look or feel, then change the way that you feed your body. Thoughts, movement, food, literally, the nutrition that you're putting in. And fourthly, your final control is your rest and recovery. Now, especially from a massage therapist point of view, I've dealt with a lot of stressed bodies over my nearly 20 years career. Stress is a huge thing. Now, we need it, but too much can be poisonous to the body. It's the case with everything, right? It's the dose that makes the poison. If you've been reading my book, you're up to speed on some of these references now. And so what I'm sharing with you here, 4 controls, these are the very essence of how you can change this movie called life by taking full control, becoming the writer, director, and star of your own movie by controlling your mindset, your physical body, your foods that you ingest, and also then your rest and recovery to help you boost and accelerate your healing. Because if you're looking for more health, happiness, and vitality, those are the very 4 controls that you need. Now, beyond that, there is a sphere of health professionals. I fall under that umbrella as your massage therapist. There are doctors, there's naturopathic doctors, there's physical therapists, there's chiropractors, there's osteopaths. The list is fairly endless of the various types of modalities that are out there. Which one is going to suit you depends what's going on. So what you have to do is really start to understand your body and mind and understand then, okay, well, for me, it's definitely more my mindset. I find I get easily stressed. I struggle with anxiety or depression. Then center it around number 1, which is what I share with all my patients anyway, is dealing with your mindset. Now, there's tools in my book, which you can still go get for free on my website, jasonbarlowrmt.com. Start there. At the back of my book, I also then have probably about 5 or 6 books I recommend when it comes to dealing with your mindset. So you can plunge deeper into that. Now, this is if you want to do it yourself. But don't feel that you got to do it yourself. There are many great professionals out there that can help support you on that journey. So determine which of those 4 health controls you need to center in on, and then who is it that's going to help me support that journey. Because remember, you are the writer, the director, and the main star of the movie called Life, but you're not alone. There's an all-star cast around you. There's background actors. There's so many support people behind the camera. Use them. And how do you find out who to go to? Determine from that hierarchy that I'm sharing with you. And thereafter, good old Google, but speak to your friend network. Find out who's already getting success and results in those areas that you're looking to pursue. And guess what? Success leaves clues. So start duplicating those methods and find out by tasting them yourself what that actually does for you. And if you find you're getting progress and improvements, then guess what? Keep doing that. In Buddhism, they talk about your meditation practice being like a vast, open, wide river. And it's constantly flowing, not a mad rush and not too slow that it stops, but just a steady flowing river. And I feel that's valuable in all those 4 controls. We have to be consistent and we have to be ongoing. And perhaps even more important is be persistent after that, because there's going to be obstacles. So what do you want? Why do you want it? And what are you going to do when things go wrong? Because things are going to go wrong. It's your compelling story, your storyline in your movie called Life that's going to drive you continuously, even when things aren't going your way. The how of how you achieve that, look at all these books behind me. There's a cascade of hows. They will show up once you've got that compelling story driving you towards your health, your happiness, and and vitality. And remember, you're not alone. There's many health professionals. Surround yourself with good friends and family members that are going to help you remain accountable as you pursue that achievement of more health, happiness, and vitality. Thank you for joining me. Hope you found that a benefit. Remember, go to my website, jasonbarlowrmt.com. Get your free digital copy of my book whilst you can. Probably in the next 5-6 weeks here, it's going to be changing. You'll be able to get a free digital chapter of my book, but to get the full access, you'll need to either go to Amazon and order your own paperback edition, or to get the digital version, you'll need to come and join me on my course, which, this is going to be spectacular. I'm really looking forward to launching it. And on that note, I'm going to say farewell for today. I'm keeping it short and brief, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember, your muscle health is my #1 priority. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.